Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a church in our region continues to see support coming in from across the country as it recovers from the flood. And as farmers struggle to see success in the fields, a nonprofit steps in to give advice so they can stay hopeful for the health of their crops.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning to you. It is almost 5 o'clock on your Monday. Hope y'all are well rested from the big game last night. Let's take it over to Brendan for a look at our forecast this morning. Oh, I'm Dakota Makers, by the way.
You know that guy over there.
Some more guy on TV that just
Exactly. But listen, I didn't stay up too late because I fell asleep before halftime.
No, after halftime I went to sleep.
Yeah, so you made it farther than I did. But
it was hard. It was a struggle.
Listen, I was dozing off in the chair. I was like, I'm going to bed. I said, I can't.
Yeah.
I think it was like 14-all when I went to bed.
They don't play in these games around us AM news.
Exactly. If you're going to schedule it, should have started at 6, and then maybe I could have made it to halftime.
I'll speak with the NFL today.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. All right, let's get into it this morning, and we're looking at some patchy, dense fog across the region. Some of that could be freezing fog because those temperatures have been on the colder side. Zero visibility, Logan, Pikeville, Harlan, Middlesboro, and Jacksboro. So it's kind of in a line right there. But again, you could see some patchy, dense fog in several locations this morning, so just be careful. Prestonsburg sensor is out, but we see a lot of 20s and 30s out there this morning. Only 2 spots, or actually 3 spots at freezing. 32 Moorhead, Jackson, and Monticello. Everybody else is below it. So a little extra to max warming needed on your coffee meter today as you head out the door. Speaking of heading out the door, it's going to be a beautiful day after the clouds clear and the sunshine comes out. And after a cold day yesterday for some, we'll get right back into the upper 50s later today. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you. Well, the search for one Breathitt County woman continues after she went missing following last year's flood. But on Sunday, her loved ones gathered to celebrate her birthday. Vanessa Baker was declared legally dead, and she would have been turning 61 today. In celebration of her birthday, her friends and family gathered at the River Caney ball field to release 61 balloons in her honor.
Family's family regardless of what's going on and what's happening. And this right here shows you that we're all family. This whole creek or community is family. So when one hurts, we all hurt.
Vanessa's family says they are continuing to search for her but are seeking more help in their efforts. One Pike County Church is still recovering from the flood, but help has continued to pour in. First Baptist Church of Myra pastor Dave Hammond says groups from across the region and the country have come to help the church. Hammond also says donations came from just as far and wide, even from former UK, now NFL offensive lineman Landon Young. He says help being offered across the region and seeing people come together has been wonderful.
I'm sure through all the flooding of eastern Kentucky, all the people can say the help and the love of people across the nation and in this state has been amazing. God's people come together in times of trouble.
Hammond would like to thank each and every donation and all the help the church has received. Growing produce has gotten tougher in the counties affected by the flood. That is where one nonprofit, Grow Appalachia, has stepped in to help locals. It held a meeting at Cowan Community Center discussing how farmers can get back on track this year. Coordinator Kelsey Clunan says farmers are ready to get back out in the fields even after the flood.
Even winter, like getting our seed catalogs, planting out our garden, it brings us so much like joy and hope and optimism. And I think that some of those farmers who were just like, I can't do it anymore, no more, it's coming seed catalog time and garden planting time, and folks are giving it a shot.
One of the big talking points for farmers is soil health, which they recommend getting tested before growing anything on land that was flooded. Well, there are many challenges to farming along the mountainsides in eastern Kentucky. Our Chandler Wilcox talked with a Letcher County family who has plowed through many circumstances to help feed their community.
It is a family affair in the little town of Jeremiah. They call it Rocket Farm. Rocket logos and a cat named Rocket are spread around the property along with their crops. For decades, however, it has been the breeding family home.
It means everything to us. I mean, we have sentimental value, like you said, and it also, one thing that we do is we grow and we harvest vegetables and fruits that our own family use and eat throughout the seasons and everything.
The community gets a part of the harvest too.
We provide our produce to County Community Center for their meal programs, and we provide our produce as well to Kane Kitchen.
Their progress came to a screeching halt on July 28th. Floodwater ripped through their crops and the soil it was growing in.
We figure if we won't eat it, we ain't gonna send it out to the community for anybody else to eat. So we take a lot of pride in it. And when the floodwaters receded, it just broke your heart because we'd put so much work, and we take a lot of pride in our little farm.
The next few months were spent taking soil samples and reshaping their landscape.
We've turned and tilled the soil, and we've put manure and stuff on the soil, or compost. But we're still not 100%.
Yeah.
Thankfully, their berries and the high tunnel were just washed by water running off the mountain, so that area was salvageable. Even if they lost it all, however, Timothy and Mike were going to continue doing what they love.
Right. So as long as we're alive, or me or him, one's alive, we're going to try to grow and produce.
Yeah.
Because we love the vegetables and everything too. So
Even a historic flood could not stand a chance against family history. In Letcher County, Chandler Wilcox, WYMT Mountain News.
Well, the family also sells their produce at farmers markets in the areas, as well as taking individual requests. Well, thank you so much for getting your Monday started with us here on Mountain News this morning. Coming up, an East Tennessee man's encounter with the black bear makes it on air during Super Bowl Sunday. We'll have the story when we come back.
And it's shaping up to be a nice day. Another warming trend is on the way, but we could see some storm chances coming up later this week. I'll tell you about all of that in about 3 minutes.